I'm Davey. I'm awesome. Welcome to the Comic Corner, where you guys make comments on my videos and I respond every week. And in between responding to your comments. You know what the Senate said to Julius Caesar? You've got a lot of gall.
That's funny to me.
So, kicking off this week's Comic Corner with last week's Comic Corner. 500 subscribers. Thanks again, all of you. My brother Josh, the Film Bestie, commented, "So sick of Netflix. I only pay for it because it has old episodes of Vikings, Walking Dead, Glow, and the likes. Without those, I'd stop paying these hosers. Don't forget Cobra Kai, and plus we got another season of Stranger Things coming. And then me, of course, Raw." Then my brother Josh, the Film Bestie, commented, "There's a new Mario painting beside you." You mean the one that was behind us in our last two videos? Then my brother Josh, the Film Bestie, commented, "Dude, don't lie. You love Travolta. You used to sing his part from Grease, so that's where we're going to stop right there. Don't you dare say I do anything related to Grease. I hate that movie." Then a new commenter, Dwayne Hunt, commented, "He's got to live near the border off America Surly. Or he lived in America for a few years, then never recovered, or just never learned how to eat correctly. Anyhow, feel sorry for you, dude. Hope you try to help yourself soon." There's nothing to feel sorry for me about. I feel sorry for you that even when trying to be nice, you have to show that you think you're superior. I am not unhealthy. I know I look it. The one unhealthy thing I got has to do with a genetic abnormality in my blood, which means it would have nothing to do with my weight. But even then, I'm checking my blood every few months. Blood pressure is always fine. Blood sugar is always fine. Not even close to a risk for diabetes. No high cholesterol. They've all looked at me at some point and said, "It's weird. With the exception of this mutation, you're perfectly fine." And I get irritated back at them like, why do you guys do that? You're medical professionals. You know that fat doesn't always equal unhealthy. Yet every fat person you see, you assume must have ragu running through their veins. I do take care of myself. Believe it or not, I'm not sitting around every day just drinking soda and eating donuts. I review things that are fun. Believe it or not, it's not going to be fun to watch me review a salad niçoise. So how about this? How about you guys get over yourselves and leave complete strangers alone and let us live our lives? You're worse than that person who walks by a smoker and has to remind them, "You know that's bad for you, right?" Then Jay McCool commented, 500 subs. Nice. I think so. Then Jay McCool commented, "PB&J Twinkies sound awesome." It does. Get on it, hostess. Then Jay McCool commented, "Am I the only one who's all about Taco Bell quesadillas?" Probably. They're just okay to me. Then Jay McCool commented, "What's with all the fat shaming lately?" Jay, it's nothing I'm not used to. People are high and mighty, think they're superior, and have to say something to a random stranger. You know why Caesar's cell phone bill was so high? He was Roman. Then I'm going to give you some stories. Things we didn't need to worry about. Ken Lindsay kicked it off with, "You're going to talk about the DARE program and not even mention the day you became a 6th grade rock star? I mean, first there was a very public panic attack, but still, anyhow, all the cool kids are snorting gravel downtown, so I gotta go so they don't call me a dweeb again." Well, we can't have that. As far as 6th grade rock star, it's 5th grade. I left later that year and finished 5th grade in another school. And I'll give people the cliff notes because I'm not going to go into that story just because I don't remember enough details. But basically, yes, the end of the DARE program, we were supposed to do certain things. I picked to sing a song. Like he said, had a panic attack, ran off stage, came back out, sang the song. And it was terrible, but people did like it. I was not popular, but I had a lot of people congratulating me for a couple of weeks. Then my brother Josh, the Film Bestie, commented, "Key West, Costa Rica, Davey, places from Lord of the Rings are fictional. You can't visit fantasy lands, weirdo." You slay me. Damn, you're stupid. Then my brother Josh, Film Bestie, commented, "What do you call it when a deaf person face plants into quicksand?" Lip syncing. Motivation is like quicksand. I'll likely never encounter it, but see it in movies all the time. 100 lawyers are in a bus stuck on a bed of quicksand. Let that sink in.
That's funny to me.
What was the philosopher's last thought before he descended into quicksand? I sink, therefore I am.
What?
AIDS, herpes, and syphilis and a timeshare. Which one doesn't belong? Syphilis. You can get rid of that. Terrible news! My friend has been charged with timeshare fraud and will go to prison 2 weeks a year for the next 20 years. I like that you did 2 different types of jokes in there. I'd say why didn't you do any DARE program jokes, but it was already a joke. Then my brother Josh Film Bestie commented, when Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons come to your door and ask if you got time for the word of our Lord, just ask them if they're willing to also listen to your timeshare presentation first. It's not a bad idea. Then my brother Josh Film Bestie commented, come on, Davey, try some ibuprofen. It'll make you real cool. What are you, a chicken? Nobody calls me chicken. Then my brother Josh the Film Bestie commented, remember when we were a day from graduating from DARE? After all the talk about say no to drugs, drinking, and smoking, we smoked cigs for the first time in that broken down car with the neighbors. Good times, good times. Or in French, if you will, bon temps, bon temps. I don't remember smoking cigarettes in that broken down car. But if you say so. Then Jay McCool commented, if you could take a vacation anywhere in the world, where would it be? Probably Israel. As a Christian, I think it would be awesome to see all the places Jesus walked, spoke, and all that stuff. Then Jay McCool commented, this is true. Most people I know who do drugs don't seem to care if anyone else does. They don't, really. They get mad if they think you're judging them. And they always think you're judging them, but as far as the DARE program, though, I think the reason it was a total failure is not just because they made it seem like you were going to be pressured into this stuff. But again, they kind of instructed you on how to find drugs more than avoid them. And I honestly just personally feel that the better way to help kids with not being on drugs, kind of like what I tell my kids, and hopefully it works, is just that. The whole pressure into doing drugs is pressure you put on yourself. So take the pressure off of yourself and understand they don't care. They're not going to look at you like you're a nerd because you don't do drugs. They're not going to tell you anybody who's anybody is doing this. If you say no, they're just going to look at you and go, all right, and then do their stuff. You know who cares about learning Roman numerals? I, for one. Then on my Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I reviewed WrestleMania 9 Becoming a Spectacle, the Peacock documentary. My brother Josh, the Film Bestie, kicked it off with. This was one of the better documentaries. The nostalgia feeling was there along with interesting facts. Ultimately, this adds to how much I miss the old days of wrestling. I miss the old days of wrestling, but I also like some of the newer things. I like that we're not pretending it's real anymore. Then Jay McCool commented, for me what was cool about this documentary was the wrestling history. To think of the event that made WrestleMania a spectacle. I wasn't alive when WrestleMania 9 happened, so I don't remember a time it wasn't a spectacle. Fair enough, you know, because like I said, ever since then it's always been a spectacle. Some stages more elaborate than others, but this is where it went from just being a big show to being what it said, a spectacle. Then Jay McCool commented, what's your favorite WrestleMania? For me, it'll always be WrestleMania 12. I had watched other WrestleManias. I watched wrestling on and off as a kid. That was the first WrestleMania that really got me hooked into being the diehard wrestling fan that I am. Plus, it had my favorite match of all time. I have still never seen a match that tops that Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Then Jay McCool commented, I know this has nothing to do with this video, but since you are admittedly a huge belt mark, what do you think of the new TNA International Championship? I don't like it. The design itself, the plates are actually pretty nice, but that baby blue strap, I hate it. It makes it so ugly. If this was gold on a black strap, white strap, or even if they decided, like they do with the tag belts, to make them red, all might have been fine. But on that baby blue strap is... ugh. You know how Romans cut their hair? With a pair of Caesars. Then on my Davy's Awesome Movies, where I reviewed the awesome cult classic From Dusk Till Dawn. My brother Josh, the film bestie, kicked it off with vampires! Whoa! What a Shyamalan twist. You know, it makes me kind of wish that they would have not promoted it as a vampire movie, because then you and I could have been shocked. Then my brother Josh, the film bestie, commented, "You're going to review the greatest of all the sequels to this, right? Right? Dusk Till Dawn 2? Yes, Josh, I'm going to review the sequels." Then new commenter Mary Mitchell commented, "Love this movie. I watch it at least once a year. One of my favorite vampire movies out there. Great review." It's one of my favorites too. I don't know if I watch it once a year, but I've watched it a lot. And it is just such a well-told story. And then the final comment, Jay McCool commented, "This movie is awesome. And yeah, I wasn't born yet when it came out, so my dad eventually had me watch it with him, but didn't tell me it was a vampire movie. So when it got to that part, I was like, what? I love it. I remember in 96 when it first came out, we're all watching this and saying, I'll bet if somebody did not go into this knowing it was a vampire movie, that would shock the hell out of them. And it's great to me that almost 30 years later, entire generation of people are adults, they're now watching this, having no idea it was a vampire movie, and they're shocked. It's cool. You know why the Romans hate wrestlers? Because The Rock beats Caesars. So there you have it. That's Comic Corner this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next Comic Corner. Love you guys.